What is up, RGL family? Coming back at you with another retro news update. Couple updates on what I talked about in the last episode regarding Irena Genesis. All right, well, I mean, one update for that, and then some other stuff going on. So yeah, so I actually reached out to, like I said, Megcat Studio, and they replied, and they are actually only they're doing fulfillment for the US for that project. So they're actually not involved in the development or publishing. So it was interesting, kind of like learning all these bits and pieces of how it works. So they're just doing fulfillment. So they said Broke Studio is actually the ones that are publishing. So and working with the developer. And if you don't know who Broke Studio is, they've done a bunch of other releases. And I think typically, I've gotten some other Kickstarters from them, and I don't think there's been another instance that I've been involved with where they didn't deliver on the project. So I got Cursed Knight, which is for the Genesis and the Mega Drive. I don't have either this Poppy Commando or Archegos Revolution. And then the most recent one they've done, which I think John Hancock and also John Riggs did videos for. They got some sort of pre-release copies. Was this SD, changeable Guardian SD for the original Nintendo Famicom. I did pre-order this, but this was before I found out they're the publishers for Irena Genesis. But anyways, so getting sidetracked here. This, I think, it's up to you. It seems like this is well in hand. Says it's supposed to start shipping it March 2025, which is this month, so we'll see. Will be shipped. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I've not received my copy yet or gotten notice that it's shipped yet, but I don't know, we're like first week and a half into March here. But anyways, so I reached out to them on their Discord. I did not get a response. I just posted on their I sent a message, private message on their Twitter site, X, whatever you want to call it. There's no, like, if you scroll down here, here's the Steak, the one I was just telling you about, which is a shooter for the NES, for the Nintendo Curse Legacy, which I was telling you about. And then lots of screenshots for everything but Irena Genesis. They've, I think, kind of buried it at this point. So so it's unfortunate because, the money's been taken. That was no issue, but we don't get any updates on it. And like the dev, currently, as far as we're aware, has checked out. The website, is gone. There's no Twitter updates on his channel or her channel. You can see the last post here was 2021 or 2024. Sorry. There's a screenshot. So it would be nice if someone would post some kind of update, either from Broke Studio or the developer. I guess from the last Kickstarter updates, there was some sort of personal life issue, and that's understandable, but also you took people's money, so I get it, but it's not like it's not an excuse to not deliver on something that was promised, especially when people's money was taken for it, mine and whoever else contributed to the project, so I'm hoping that we get some kind of update on it, and as soon as we do, I will deliver that information. I'm hoping by posting videos and talking about it. I really should put something up on my website as well, that maybe they'll come back. I mean, MegaCat came back right away. I thought I emailed them, but I didn't. So as soon as I emailed them, they sent me a response. So, apologies to MegaCat. I know I was dogging them a little bit for not delivering on it, but it wasn't theirs to deliver on. So that's my bad, and I really appreciate that they really responded quickly and politely to point me in the right direction. Broke Studio, I messaged them on Discord over the weekend. I mean, it's only Tuesday, it's I'm assuming it's a small studio, so I mean, we'll see what happens. I did that, like I said, the DM now. And there also is a contact on their website as well, which I think looks like I've navigated away from at this point. But there's a contact page on their website, which I also submitted. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But I mean, at this point, it looks like we're eating that one. Mad Pixel, Little Pixel. He's another YouTuber. He does. I mean, he used to be like a retro gamer YouTuber. I mean, he still posts stuff on retro games, but I feel a lot more of his content is geared towards like mini PCs now and other things like that, which is fine. I mean, I think he's probably doing whatever feeds the algorithm and gets that ad revenue. But he mentioned that the Analogue, it was supposed to be delivered Q1, which is what's on their website. That doesn't seem to be happening. He had also ordered the 8-bit DOE 64-bit controllers, which I did not, so I wasn't aware. But apparently they had a similar delivery date, but now if you go to Amazon, you can see here it says June 30th, which he pointed out in his video as well. So he's thinking like, oh, well, the controllers, because I guess they've done this previously with the other consoles, that they released like the controllers and the consoles right around the same time, and so kind of speculating, all right, if this is delayed till June 30th, likely that the console, is being delayed probably until closer to that time as well. Technically end of March, right, is Q1. So we're technically still in Q1. Q2 doesn't start until April 1st. So we'll see. I mean, maybe it will still ship this month, but I want to I kind of agree that with the controller shipping later, with sort of the way the market's been, with all the tariff nonsense, that hopefully doesn't delay it, but I agree with Mad Little Pixel that it's possible based on this that it could be delayed. But like I said, still have till the end of March for them to deliver within Q1. So we'll see what happens. It doesn't seem like they've made any official announcement. Like obviously it still says Q1 here, and then looking at their Twitter account, which is something he also tends to point out, is there doesn't seem to be any update on here either. It's just a bunch of screenshots of mostly handheld titles. They have this pinned from 2024, but nothing more recent than that pin. And he's like, I don't understand why they have all of these like clips for handheld games. And I mean, I think one, like, they want to do it so there's content, right? Regardless of how relevant it is to what they're actually doing. I mean, two, it looks cool, right? And And it is, I mean, they produce retro consoles made to play retro games. So, I mean, it's not, fits their brand, right? As the marketing speak goes. But I agree, like, it would be nice if there was some more like news and updates mixed in here as well. I also went to their website to see if on their announcement page there is anything, but they haven't updated that since October 16th, 2024. So I think, I agree, like, I understand these are all very like cottage, small businesses, but especially with Analogue is a premium brand, right? Like their stuff isn't cheap. And I think if you're commanding, if you're a premium brand, you're commanding that price, like you can keep your announcements or your blog, your updates, like more up to date, like more communication. Like you got to figure that out, I think it's only fair to your customers. I ordered the Analogue Duo from them, and I think that came within, whatever their sort of target delivery was. So I don't have anything really bad to say about Analogue. I just noticed that like this hasn't been updated since October of 2024, and I gotta imagine there has to be some kind of company news going on between now and then. So it would just, for all of these businesses, like we've grown past like these hobbyists, that these are like hobbyist guys in their bedroom, making 5 or 10 of these at a time, right? Like these are real businesses. Broke Studio has published a bunch of titles. Megacat has published a bunch of titles. LRG, I mean, I'm not sure, what kind of volume and revenue they were doing before they got purchased, but now they've been purchased by a very large holding company. That, one of my previous news episodes, I was, I mean, they're billions of dollars, right? Revenue. And Analogue, I mean, it's niche, but, they're selling consoles for $300-$400, $500, so I think that, the level of service needs to evolve with these businesses too, especially if there's going to be any staying power. Because I have to imagine that we keep seeing new titles, new licenses, not new, but LRG keeps coming up with licenses to release. There was an announcement by Retrobit. Retrobit is releasing RC Pro-Am 2 and Battletoads and Double Dragon on the Game Boy. So, I mean, this is great. And these are official not reproduction, reprints of these titles. And apparently this game is not like cheap because it was a later title. Full disclosure, Mad Little Pixel covered this as well. He said that, this is up there in price, and this one, I don't know how much it is, but like you're getting it brand new sealed technically, right? So, I mean, any Game Boy game now, that's like a decent Game Boy, what's the word I want? Like a recognizable title like Battletoads, Double Dragon, RPGs, those command a good, higher prices. So I have to imagine that even loose, this game's probably, $20, $30, right? And Retrobit puts out a real premium product. So I don't think companies would continue to make the investments in order to do these, if there wasn't a demand for them. And I think I love the fact that I can buy new Nintendo games and like open them up and have that experience from my childhood, from like Christmas or a birthday, opening up new games. I mean, that's just awesome. So that's out there. You can get it on all the usual sites. I really recommend Castlevania Games or Rondo Products, which owns Castlevania Games now. And hopefully LRG, if you're listening. I ordered the P47 game that was recently completed and published, and that was Feb 16th of this year, and it's on the way to my house. I should get it tomorrow. So what is that? Less than a month. So I don't know why it takes these other companies, LRG, Strictly Limited too. Like, I've got games with them that I pre-ordered I think over a year ago at this point. I still don't have them. I would rate Retrobit number one by some margin, so if they can pre-order a product and then within a month deliver the product, I don't understand why these other companies can't do it either. And they're not even delivering, it's not a bad product, but the quality of the boxes and stuff that Strictly Limited uses is not as good as Retrobit. And I would say like the quality of the manufacturing as well. And same with LRG. Like, LRG is a good quality. I'm not complaining. I'm not talking, saying that they don't release a good product. Same with Strictly Limited. Although LRG has recently had the issue with the Rugrats game and the Puyo Puyo game. There's some quality issues there. And the game for the 3DO. So they've had a couple strikes recently. Hopefully they're going to learn from it. I think the Rugrats is getting a lot more notice and a lot more visibility. Because like you can't compound the fact that it takes a year to get your product, on top of the fact that when you get the product, it's got it's malfunctioning, and you have to replace it. So I hope they can figure that out, because I think we need these businesses, but I think also at the same time, if they are not delivering a quality product, if they are cutting corners, if they are not delivering on what they've promised, then we can't support them, right? We can't vote with our dollars, because then we're just basically saying that that behavior is okay, that we'll accept it, and we shouldn't at the end of the day. And worst case, hopefully that makes room for somebody else to come in and want to deliver a quality product and isn't willing to take cut corners, and Retrobit does that. So I just feel like let's follow their model. I don't know what they're doing differently, but I think they should kind of be the industry standard, in my opinion. And then finally, it's just kind of like a aside. Hyperkin is released a a PC Duo, PC Engine console, HDMI console, and I mean $89. It's certainly much cheaper than the Duo was. I don't know if I would have gotten this over the Duo had it been available at the time. because again, Analog does deliver a very high quality product. But that said, if you're in the market to have a console you can physically use your Hue cards on, this might, and not spend a ton of money, then this might fit the bill for you. And that's $89. And again, like Castlemania, Rondo, they are the same company. And then a couple quick things I wanted to cover. I forget where I got linked to this. I don't know if I was looking at Twitter. It was on X. But for those Terminator fans, Terminator 2, No Fate for the Nintendo Switch. I believe this is like pre-order, but I mean it looks really cool. This is the day one edition. Oh, it's from Bitmap Bureau. That's how I got linked to it, because I was looking at their site. And so it's this really cool, I guess, release of the arcade game. And you get this like cool slipcover box, reversible cover art. They have it for Switch, they have it for PlayStation, but I just thought this was pretty neat. So if you're looking for that, it's at this Reef Direct, Reef Entertainment, and $37.49. I mean, that's pounds, so I'm not sure what the conversion rate is now, but it's probably what, $50. And then Way Forward is releasing for the Game Boy Sigma Star Saga DX, which is a shooter for the Game Boy Advance. So this will be at limited run. Unfortunately, it's still waiting for my Shantae, but you know that this is the thing, right? Like, they get some really cool licenses, so kind of between a rock and a hard place. But the collector's edition is $99.99 if you want that. It comes with a double-sided poster and map, soundtrack, some coins, a keychain, ship keychain, galactic blue cart, and the deluxe box, of course. The cart color is really cool. I don't know if it's worth $99.99, but I am very tempted because I think it looks very cool. The standard edition is $49.99. You get your regular old Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance cart for that. Looks like there's some screenshots in this picture, but I can't zoom in. But yeah, so that is coming. Or is it available to pre-order now? Yeah. That's available to pre-order now. So if you're a big handheld Game Boy Advance, Game Boy collector, this is a title that I don't think originally released in the US, and I think if you wanted to get like the actual part, well, maybe it did, but I believe my understanding is it's really expensive if you wanted to get an original release. So yeah, so that is everything I wanted to cover in this episode. So the quick and dirty is that there's no word on Arena Genesis still. I've reached out to the publisher / developer, which is Broke Studio. And then Broke Studio has a shooter for the Nintendo / Famicom if you want something like that. Which it does look, it looks like very well done. There's a shooter coming out for the Game Boy Advance. Limited Run has that. And then there's two, I think they're Rare titles or Konami, RC Pro-Am. And those are coming out, and you can get those on Castlemania / Rondo Products. in the Battletoads Double Dragon for the Game Boy. So that's all your retro stuff for now, with a little spicy Nintendo Switch thrown in. I hope everyone is well, and have a great night. Take care. Bye. So a little post-production work here. I got a couple updates regarding the Irena. Maybe I'm the only one who ordered this and nobody else cares. I don't know. I think the Kickstarter finished at 62,000, so I have to imagine I'm not the only one on the hook. So a couple things. It was not P47 for the Genesis that was out for delivery. It was my contacts. So that wasn't. It still takes a really long time to get stuff from LRG, but the Retrobit isn't coming within a month. But I'm pretty sure they usually do turn it around or quicker. Maybe not. Maybe not a lot quicker, but definitely quicker. Anyways, so I'd messaged in the Broke Studio Discord, and they replied. So you can see this was the weekend, so they replied in a couple days, and basically they've cut ties with the developer for the game, Irena Genesis, and they're terminated their license agreement. And they said, they didn't collect any money either. So it seems like this guy, whether he intended to or, whatever life event happened, he's still absconded because the Kickstarter was successful. So that money paid out. So I don't think I, threw any shade at Broke Studio. I was, if it sounded that way, I didn't mean it to. I was really trying to. My comment was more general in terms of these type of projects. Just like they're not always. The communication isn't always the best. So I think that's helpful for people. So they've put up their money and they just want to know what's going on and when they can expect their project, or their product, I should say. And so that's, here's their comments in regards to that. And I just replied back. And they also had emailed me. I had sent the email, like I said, and they responded to that as well. So it's good to know going forward. I will definitely make sure to reach out first if I have any concerns, because these guys have definitely shown that they're responsive. And actually in the email they said they weren't involved in the Kickstarter campaign. So going forward, MegaCat and Broke Studio as well, I'll make sure to reach out to them if I have any concerns before coming on here and giving you guys the update. So that's all I wanted to say. Unfortunately, it looks like unless this person turns the corner and comes back to complete the project, I would think at this point we're kind of it's kind of a fail, unfortunately. So feel bad for anybody out there who lost their money on this deal. It is a risk of Kickstarter, so hopefully anybody participating in these campaigns, putting their money up, it's money that they have that's not putting food on the table or paying the rent, because it is a risk. So just wish everybody the best, and take care. Have a good night.